Hello, fellow Earth prisoners. My name is Ronnie, and I know I'm a little late to the party, but today I'm going to be diving into the album Willoughby's Beach by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Before we begin, I should say I do not consider myself to be a musician. I have never taken a class on music, and I by no means am very creative, and I'm working on that, but in the meantime, I wanted to talk about these magical sounds. I have been a fan of King Gizzard for a little over three years now, and I'm fairly well versed on the idea of the Gizzverse, but I've noticed a lack of explanation online for the band's individual albums. My goal for this series is to attempt to form a cohesive narrative for each album based on the lyrics, instruments, and general visuals offered by the creators. So, with the nitty-gritty out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? Before I actually start, I figure I should mention that the album has 9 songs: Danger Money, Blacktooth, Lunch Meat, Crocodile, Let It Bleed, Deadbeat, Dustbin Fletcher, Stoned Mullet, and Willoughby's Beach. So that you guys don't have to listen to only my voice throughout this video, I am going to have the album be playing in the background while you guys talk over, or while I talk over it for you guys. I don't know whether or not this will get flagged for copyright infringement, but I intend to list the video links and stuff in the description, so hopefully I won't get in trouble. But I didn't want to make it boring for you guys, and this is probably going to be boring anyway, but it might also help somebody out there understand maybe just what this album's all about. And hopefully I have an idea of roughly what it's all about. I'm sure there's a lot that I'm missing, but I did go through and really dissect this bad boy. So we'll see what you guys think. So let's do it. Danger money is defined by Oxford Languages as extra payment for working under dangerous conditions. As the song starts, no time is wasted to lay the tone for this album. Stu sings from the perspective of someone who desires to make a living getting paid to do something dangerous. As the song progresses, we are treated to the repeated lines, "Danger money," "I want danger money," "Danger funny." With the general tone of the song and the description of danger being fun, it leads me to the understanding that this person doesn't view consequences to be very consequential. Not much information is given lyrically, but instrumentally we get a little bit more of an idea of the mental state of this entity. The song frequently swaps between chaos and order in spectacular garage rock fashion, with the harmonica going crazy in the foreground. In my experience, harmonica is usually a lonely instrument, played for emotion. Maybe it's a stretch to say, but I think that our harmonica jam here, while notably not sad, is being used to convey that same sense of loneliness, as if the person is trying to say, I know I'm alone in this. Blacktooth starts with a similar vibe to Danger Money, almost like it's a song from the same band. This time, we get even more lyrics and a slightly bigger picture. We learn that while everyone has parents, our person might not be in touch with theirs anymore. Whether they are alive or not is unclear. But Mom said I'm not okay because I've been talking in my sleep. Sleep talking, or somniloquy, can have numerous causes, such as certain medications, emotional stress, fever, mental health disorders, or substance abuse. While these can cause sleep talking, it should be noted that it usually occurs on its own and is not a disorder in and of itself. It's also not a factor in determining the overall well-being of a person, but it's still too early to know what might be the cause here. And that being said, Dad said I'm not okay because I never brush my teeth. And this one's interesting to me because as the song is called Blacktooth, singular, as opposed to black teeth, plural, it leads me to believe that Dad is mistaken about the cause of the black tooth. Usually a single dark tooth is caused by some sort of trauma to the affected area, usually a saturation of iron from the bloodstream during periods of inflammation, Sometimes it can also be a dead nerve in the tooth. Our friend's response to his mom and dad give even more insight. And that pretty much just really carries the same message to me as, whatever dude, I'm doing me. Lunch meat begins with a woo, and it really does feel like your dad just flicked your bedroom lights on when you're dead asleep saying, "Get up, you lazy ass." The instrumental trugging along of this song really carries the weight of a world that refuses to rest when you do. There is no gradual build-up or letdown. The world presses on while you ride it. Lyrically, the song seems to lament this idea, especially in the morning. They make me get up in the morning, 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 morning. Oh, 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 oh. Crocodile. Crocodile, if you couldn't tell, is a mashup of the word crooked and crocodile. It's possible that this name may imply a certain criticism of religious themes in the lyrics. Sometimes it can be hard to imagine God could be on everyone's side, especially considering the frequently contradictory behavior of humankind. How could he be on your side and mine if both of our sides are different? I'm only human, so I can't say how he could do both, but I can say that this song's refrains are each more energetic than the preceding one. And I think the repetition of the lyrics do a great job of demonstrating how religious people can repeat the same thing with equal conviction, regardless of contradiction. As I mentioned earlier also, the word crooked applied to religion most strongly relates to the church and the supposed corruption within. Say God is on your side and distract yourself with salvation while we dip into your pockets. Thank God he's on your side, because we aren't. Song 5 is named after the Rolling Stones album of the same name. A change of pace from all the previous songs in the album, Let It Bleed is a slow jam using heavy quantities of acoustic guitar. The repetitive lines, "I want to see my lovebird again," could be a metaphor for someone longing to see an old lover. And it also could literally be a lovebird parrot. Deadbeat is the song to listen to if you want to get in the mind of a punk and figure them out. No, I'm just kidding. But for real though, this is literally a song about the thrill of a knuckle sandwich nosebleed. Humans are so silly, aren't they? Head to the beach with this surf punk song about getting high on something. Personally, I tend to imagine weed being a solid surf bum go-to, but I hope this gets me high would suggest that this substance is unknown to the user, which honestly kind of sounds like me at 17. It's one of the more mellow instrumentations in the album, at some points utilizing only just bass, drums, and vocal ohs and ahs. And it could be noted that Dustbin Fletcher is either a comedic tribute or subtle jab at Australian rules footballer Dustin Fletcher, a defender for the Essendon Football Club from 1993 to 2015. Right on, dude. So the term stun mullet is an Australian slang term meaning in complete bewilderment or astonishment. Stun being swapped for stoned here is pretty obvious, but the lyrics green out further back the notion of the potweeds, and the only other two words pretty much tell you everything you need to know about this song. It's pretty much just a song about smoking and jerking off. The ultimate stoner to-do list. To close out the album, the titular song is a garage punk rock anthemic beat with the lyrics, "Just because I like you doesn't mean I like you," repeating throughout, paired with the band's signature oohs and woos. It's a confusing statement that somehow makes a lot of sense. I find myself trying to decide if I even like my friends sometimes. So to summarize, this is a very simple album. Lyrically, all the songs are short, repeated verses that carry a certain gravity with how often they are said. As a fan of the Gizzverse, I've always had a hard time placing this album. It's one of the first real projects they released, so really only they know how much they had planned at that point. But knowing what we know now, I think the intention is that this album takes place before the apocalypse, but it doesn't seem to directly involve any of the main protagonists. I think it's meant to give a glimpse into the life of a random individual who is attempting to live life the way that they want to, without any outside input or interference. Someone unbridled by concern, while the world does what the world does. We got to look at the life of somebody who could be an anybody, and nobody would know. There were little things connecting here and there that I learned throughout this listen that I hadn't noticed before, like the talking in one's sleep in Blacktooth could be related to the drug use in Dustbin Fletcher and Stone Mullet, or the fact that Blacktooth itself could be a direct result of Deadbeat. Lots of little things. I'm sure I missed a ton, so leave a comment down under if you want to point out some other things that I missed and give me some suggestions for future videos. Next album on the list is 12 Bar Bruise, so don't miss it. Thank you so much for hanging out for a while. And if you made it this far and you enjoyed your stay, I'd be super stoked if you could hit that like button and consider subscribing. I plan to cover more than just King Giz in the future as well, so if you've got music universes for me to check out, maybe I'll make a series on it. Now, with all that out of the way, there's just one last thing to take care of.